Hell yeah.
Hey everybody, it's Kat, and I want to welcome you to this episode of Backstory Sessions. I'm joined today by my co-host Matt. Hey Matt.
Hey, Kat. Hey, everyone. How are you?
Well, this has been quite the weekend for me.
Yeah. So you had what, three performances this weekend?
Yes, three performances in 2 days, and they were all very different venues, and so we got a lot of practice in making adaptations to our space and such.
Yeah. So this was senior prom.
Senior prom sold out, so there were no more tickets. A lot of people just really wanted to see this play, which I think should make us both feel really good because it's based on Love and Jello, the characters from there,
Yeah.
and people had their favorites. Of course, Wayne was quite a favorite,
Nah.
and Kathleen as well.
Really?
Yes.
Huh. Well, what did they think of Don?
Don won an award, within the course of the play. They have the superlatives at the prom.
Right.
And so he was definitely a crowd because it was based on applause today.
Mm-hmm.
He was definitely a crowd favorite. You rednecks. And so for listeners out there, Don is from the Henry Ford High School in Michigan,
Right. Yeah.
where they provide fine education.
Yeah. Apparently, that's what we're told.
Yes, and that's what Don claims.
Yeah. So, all right. Well, Wayne was the favorite then, I guess, huh?
Oh yes, Wayne, the guys do a dance at the prom and or the pram as they don't really know how to spell too well. But Wayne was shaking it, I'll say that, and the crowd went wild. So it
Okay.
it was really funny. I mean, uh, at all the venues, there was almost immediate laughter, engagement when the play started. So kudos to the whole cast of Senior Prom. And, kudos to us too. I think it was well written and some really diverse and lovable characters.
What do you think was the single scene that people liked the most?
Well, I- it's kind of hard because, laughter is like the let you know that they like that scene.
Right.
But, there's some like more compelling parts too at the beginning. And I think the audience was just as engaged. But definitely when Wayne proposes to Pauline, I heard a lot of "aw," like like that was a really sweet moment. And Alexis, who's 10 years old, plays the harp, you know. So we built it up and she's playing this beautiful song on the harp and she's 10 years old.
Mhm.
And Pauline enters from the back of the theater in her beautiful prom dress. So no one has seen her. And it's just lovely how she makes that grand entrance so long down all the way down to the stage.
Mhm.
And then Wayne is just like almost speechless. He just keeps saying like, "Wow, what, wow." So, and then he pops the question, and everybody's just like I said, it's like, oh, and then kind of in the little twist of it, she's like, "Well, did you clean the stove?" Before she says if she'll marry him or not. And
Mhm.
he's like, "Yes, twice on my knees." And so then she's like, "Well, then I guess, the answer is yes." And so they're showing the ring off, and, it's just a really a really sweet moment because you really don't see Pauline. You see her at the beginning, when the catfish thing happens,
Right.
and then she's MIA until that last scene where the proposal happens, and it's just really that was very popular.
Yeah, I remember in the book writing the scenes with those two was, it's a lot of fun.
Yes, it's just sweet, because I don't know, it seems, like, innocent, like, just,
Mhm.
I don't know. I mean, a lot of, like, proposals and whatever are more I don't know how to explain it. These 2 just seem, like, really sweet and innocent, and you just want them to be together, but you
Mhm.
never thought of them being together until, you know
Right, yeah.
yeah, because she's, of course, chasing someone else, I mean, in the
Yeah.
beginning, so
It's almost like she settled for Wayne.
uh, except for, in the moment, it seems like, when he's talking, he is like, it's like, "You've always meant to be with us,
Mhm.
with me." So, it's really like it's true love, and it was meant to be.
Mm.
So,
Well, I'm glad everybody liked it. That's pretty cool.
I mean, it makes you feel good, doesn't it? I mean,
Sure. I mean, yeah, it was, the book is really good and the characters are really good in it. And I know the play, carrying that over to the play, that was just as good. Yeah, there's certainly a lot of opportunity to write some good parts in that, and I think we did pretty well.
well, and now people are wanting the sequel. Like, I had a few people come up and ask, is the next play gonna be about their wedding? And also, they wanted Robert, the catfisher, to be in the next one and, like, interrupt the wedding or, in some way
Really?
be involved. So,
Huh.
there
Well,
you go. I mean,
we'll have to keep that in mind. Maybe we'll save that for the sequel to Love and Jello.
yeah, I mean, I really did find that interesting. I think that's the first time that's happened that, after one of our shows that someone has asked about a sequel part.
Mm.
So, that lets you know that people really did just engage and love these characters, and that's just wonderful for us.
Yeah. Any other comments that people made?
Oh, I mean, all kinds of them, like, there was their favorite show. They've never laughed so much. But the overriding thing that I thought was really positive for us was people said before the show, like, "We really need to laugh because so many tragic things have been happening in the community," just as life can be, just difficult.
Sure.
But I think people just really were able to just enjoy something and take their mind off of any troubles that they may be having, at least for that 90 minutes.
Well, I mean, I guess that's a really good compliment then you know, that they did enjoy it and they did laugh a lot. And, for 90 minutes, maybe they did forget about some of their troubles.
And, they were really engaged too. I mean, anytime that, like, Wayne was asking them, if you think there should be a prom, they were cheering it on, and so it really was just another funny time. A lot of it does, like, center around Wayne because, he really is, I would say, the main character, wouldn't you?
One of them, for sure.
And, the ladies are talking about how they don't have any, like, the man drought, that there's just not,
Right.
you're
Yeah.
getting all dressed up for this prom, but, like, for what really? Because there's just not. There's slim pickings, I guess you
Yeah.
could
Yeah.
say. And when they get to like talking about Wayne, they're like, he talks like he's underwater. And then they're like, can you imagine him whispering sweet nothings in your ear? And then they all start like, like
Yeah,
talking like they're
yeah.
into like that. So, just really a lot of funny moments, and the actors are spot on with them today because, timing is everything with comedy. And yeah, pretty proud
So
of what we
one
created.
one thing that I mean, the character of Wayne, he started in Love and Jello and turned into one of the main characters in that as well. He will maybe make an appearance in another thing that I'm working on. But actually, he will make an appearance, and it will be interesting to see how people react to what's going to happen with him. Yeah, it might not be as simple as he appears.
Woohoo! Well, you know, then maybe we'll explore that in the sequel to Senior Prom. I guess it'll be Senior Wedding at that point.
Maybe, yeah.
We may have a whole series of Senior, everything, but
Yeah, so in the next iteration of Wayne appearing in something that I've written, he will not be married, I don't think.
okay.
So that may come at a later date, but we'll see. I have a couple
Yeah,
different things that I'm working on, and he's definitely going to appear in the next one. It's called Heart Shaped Box, and
it's excellent.
I'm probably I don't know. What do you think? Half done with that? A little bit more, maybe?
Yeah, I would say just probably 60% at least.
Yeah. So that's coming soon, and then he may be. I have plans to continue that story, and he may show up in at least one other book that I'm gonna write. Maybe not so soon, but it will be soon enough. I gotta
I like
finish this
that.
one first. So
Will be soon enough.
yeah.
Well, it gives us something to look forward to, and I I think it's a great feeling when you create a character that you can, go beyond what you originally created and let them continue to have a different life.
Yeah, originally it was just going to be like a one-time thing. He was going to appear in one part of the story and then that was it. But this is kind of taking on another life, and so he's going to show up a little bit more.
And Wayne's got a way about him.
Yeah,
So
yeah, that's for sure. So yeah, so you were telling me about like how people, said they needed to laugh and all that. I mean, you want to talk about the next project that we're going to be working on?
I do. So we have been very fortunate to be awarded a mini grant, and the purpose of that is for us to collect stories from the Tri-County area of Kentucky, which is Knox, Laurel, and Whitley.
Hmm.
And so these are true stories of resilience. We'll collect the stories, and then our task is to write these stories into a theatrical production format, and then for Tri County Mystery Meets to perform them. So this is an extended project, obviously, that will culminate. The plan is for December. So we're going to be starting, immediately with searching for the stories and then compiling them. And, I think our goal is by the end of October to have casting and the play and all of that completed.
Right.
But a big reason that I even thought about the grant and applying for it, it was very competitive, but there in Laurel County was a major tornado.
Hmm.
And, one of the actors with Tri County Mystery Meets, well, actually, one former and one current,
Right.
were involved in this tornado and a really serious impact. And, I remember saying, because we had a show the next day, and, the forecast, like it often is, stay alert and all of that because
Right,
there's
yeah.
possibilities. But, I just posted in the group chat, like, everybody stay safe and I'll see you tomorrow. And then, about 3 that morning, 3 a.m., I get the text from the actress who says that the tornado, has hit them, but they're safe. So, that really inspired me to, or motivated me to think that this project of resilience is so important because people heal through the arts. We have the opportunity to help with healing through storytelling
Hmm.
and through collecting these and just someone listening to, this is what happened to me. This is what helped me. This is where I am now. And, I'm so happy and honored really that we were chosen to do what I know that we're capable of doing with this.
Yeah, I mean, it's gonna be, I'm happy that we're able to use the podcast for promoting that and, telling the stories and stuff. And then I'm gonna help you with some of the writing and
Yes.
yeah, so that'll all be good.
And so, that will mean that we're going to be on a little break from the podcast while we, find the people that we want to collect the stories from. And then we will bring those to listeners so that they'll be able to get some acquainted with, exactly what people have gone through and what helped them to turn things around.
Yeah, just so people know, we're gonna be on a short break. It's not going to be an extended one. Uh,
Right.
probably, I don't know.
3 weeks,
Yeah,
maybe.
something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, yeah, that's the plan. We're gonna, talk to some people and get their stories, and then we will put them out for our listeners, and we'll, while that's going on, we'll get the play started, and we'll be talking about that some more as the process continues.
Yeah, and I'm really excited about it because I think we talked about it before, what is it that that motivates people or is in some people intrinsically to pick themselves back up and keep going
Yeah, yeah,
when something, the worst imaginable thing happens to you.
yeah. I mean, it'll be interesting for sure.
Yes. So, I'll be posting more about the mini grant and the information I can release later, but we're excited and I just know that when that project closes, it will be something that we will be proud that we were a part of.
Yep. Oh, we forgot to make. I don't know if you want to talk about this, but you want to talk about state?
Yeah, so if you miss senior prom, you can come to Lexington. It could be the 21st or the 22nd of November and see it perform there for a state competition. So we're excited also about that. So we'll be working, really on two shows, getting the resilience show and, fine tuning senior prom.
Yeah. So yeah, that'll be cool. I think I'm gonna actually make it down for that one.
Yes, I've already put that on the calendar. So
Yeah. So
yeah,
this is a state competition, and
yes, it's a state competition for community theaters, and if you win at state, you get to go to the nationals, which this year is being held in Chattanooga, which would work out great for us. So,
Yeah, yeah, Chattanooga's not too far, right?
yeah, it was Baltimore
Nice.
last year, and that would have,
Yeah, we know how much you love Baltimore.
would bring. I would have definitely had crab cake, but I had surgery there, so yeah, it does
Yeah.
bring back some memories.
I hear you're a fan of the roads there.
Oh my gosh. I hate to say it's the bumpiest roads in the world, but it's the bumpiest ones I've experienced. So let's
Mm,
just say that.
yeah. All right.
But the surgery team, the hospital at Johns Hopkins, all that's wonderful. So it's not that; it's just the roads
Okay.
when you've had surgery.
Yeah, crab cakes and John Hopkins, good.
That's right.
Yeah,
Go for that.
yeah. All right.
Well, so today we've got this really interesting guest that kind of ties into what we've been talking about. Robbie Johnson, he writes his own songs, co-writes some too,
Mm-hmm.
singer, and he's written what, they're claiming is a great wedding song.
Really? Well, there
Yeah,
you go.
that,
That's right in.
that's what we're going to be talking about. I mean, there's a lot of great wedding songs, and that I'm like a big fan of those.
Yeah, yeah.
But, he's got a little different take on it on this one, and so I can't wait to, like, dive in there and, find out, like, don't if he thinks this is romantic, is he a romantic? Like, just hear the backstory of this.
Mm-hmm. So you'll be doing this one yourself. I won't be able to
Yes,
be involved in that one.
I know, and I know how much you love wedding songs as well, so,
Yeah.
you're crying,
Right. Yes.
secretly, that you're missing it, but,
Yeah.
you know, I'll take care of that.
Okay. Well, uh, yeah. All right. Anything else before we go talk to Robbie?
No, I mean, if we're gonna have senior wedding, maybe we need to keep Robbie in mind.
Yeah, that's true. All right. Well, let's talk to Robbie and find out what this wedding song is all about.
All right, let's do it.
Podbean, your message amplified.
Ready to share your message with the world? Start your podcast journey with Podbean.
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 Podbean. Podbean, the AI-powered all-in-one podcast platform.
Thousands of businesses and enterprises trust Podbean to launch their podcasts.
Launch your podcast on Podbean today.
My school uses Podbean.
My church, too.
I love it. I really do.
Robbie, I want to welcome you to Backstory Sessions. It's been a little while since you've been with us.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me back on the show. Looking forward to this. We're going to have fun.
Well, you've already started off August with some fun because that was a big release day. So tell us about what happened on August 1st.
So I released a new song and it's titled You Pick the Flowers, and it's my way of rewriting my life story and making it what it wasn't. Because I'm married, I have two wonderful children, but I never had the opportunity to do the big proposal with the knee on the ground and the wedding ring and everything.
Did you always want that? I mean, are you a romantic at heart?
I guess I am in my music. In real life, I'm a really, normal guy and very down to earth, and I guess I am a little romantic. But for me, it was the way it presented itself was totally different. We got married in a rush, and it wasn't, and, like I said, the big proposal. And this song for me is a way to rewrite that and make it right. And I
Okay.
mean that's what music is for, Sometimes you'll listen to a song that has a certain story that you've never been through, but for some reason the song makes you cry, and that's why you listen to that song when you want to cry, or when you want to be happy, you put on a song that makes you happy. And even though the story in the song isn't yours, you still go for the feeling of the song and the emotions.
Yeah, like, the listeners, as we listen to it, obviously
Yeah,
it's not our story, but it will bring back those pieces that, that we do relate to in
yeah.
our own way. So, even though it isn't your current story, like with your wife, Did you have someone in mind? Like, was there the childhood person that you were thinking about or inspired you as you were writing this?
No, no, really. It's really me just, sitting down with my guitar, just fooling around with the chord progression and let it inspire me and that's what came out. And I don't the way I write, I don't question it, I don't force it, I don't fight it. I just let it out and it is what it is. And sometimes you have a good song that turns into a single and sometimes it's a song that's just for you and you're never going to release it to the world. But yeah, that's the way I work. I know a lot of songwriters, they have a notebook with hooks and ideas that they keep and they sit down and they say, okay, today I'm writing this song. I'm really not like that. I just go with the flow.
Okay. Did the title so did you have that line come to you before you started, or did you
No, that
just
was it during the process, because you start, and for me it's really trying as if the song already existed and I'm just trying to find it. So it's a lot of trial and error and you put words in and you're like, "Ah, it doesn't feel right. It doesn't feel like that's what the song wants to be." And then you revisit and you come up with something else. And then when you find it, it all falls into place and it's like, "Oh, okay, this makes total sense." And it ties the verse. I'm sorry for the noise. It ties the verse with the chorus and everything works. That's how I do it.
okay. So what was the first line? And how did you feel when you wrote that first line?
To me, I guess it was the start of the chorus. I went ahead and bought you a diamond ring. I think that was pretty much the first lines that I found and the melody. And then I just attacked the verses and I was like, I'll figure out, the end of the chorus and the hook and the setup line and everything. I'll figure that out later. So I just grab what I find, and put it on paper and keep on going until I find it and make it, the way it needs to be.
And how did you feel about it when you finished it? Did you know, like, instantly, I think this is a pretty good song, and I'm
Well, yeah, the fact that I was singing it over and over and over again, I was like, I think it's a good song.
and then who got to hear it first?
I mean, my family got to hear it because I was singing it constantly. But then I sat down with my buddy Danny Rader, my producer, and he's my co-writer as well because I have the blueprint of the song, the lyrics, and everything, and I sit down with him, and then we go over the chords, the structure, arrangement, and oftentimes I will modify or we will modify the lyrics a little bit. We'll tweak the song. So he's a co-writer and then we decide, okay, what do we do for instrumentation, and we just talk about it and figure it out.
So, is your co-writer then, is that the person that's, like, honest with you when
Yeah.
you and tells you, like, "No, this really isn't as good as you think," or, gives you that honest feedback?
He always, and it's great to work with Danny. I mean, the guy's a genius. He plays on the big records of Kenny Chesney, Jason Aldean, Dirk Bentley, John Party, a bunch of hit records. And so he knows how it's made. And he's always, straightforward and like, Robbie, this line, I think I don't understand what you're trying to say or convey or the emotion. Maybe there's another way we could say this. Or sometimes like, the melody, if it did this, it would be cool. And often he comes up with the licks, for the instruments, the guitars and everything. So it's great. I mean, he's a great guy to have in my corner.
So, how did you meet him?
It first started, I did uh, Keith Urban had his Ripcord World Tour, and I was invited to sing on two separate shows. I jumped on stage and sang with Keith Urban twice, and he was in Keith Urban's band. So that's where I first met him. And then afterwards in Nashville, I was looking for a producer, and Keith Urban's band leader just told me, "Hey, why don't you go with Danny?" And like, "Oh yeah, that's right, Danny Rader." So we met and we just started working and never stopped.
And how important do you think it is to have someone like that who, has a vast amount of experience, but also is a straight shooter to keep things grounded, I guess?
Well, I mean, it's truly important, to have someone that will, like you say, shoot you straight and tell you, Robbie, nobody's going to understand what you're trying to say, or this melody, it's been done a million times, or it's so important, and the fact that he has a musical background, way beyond country music, rock and all the genres, and he comes from a musical family, so that's why he has all that musical background. So it's great. Sometimes he will bring in, flavors that are reminiscent of another era. So it's really cool to have that, have someone like that in your corner to help you out and shoot you straight. Because sometimes you'll have a song and I'm excited about the song and I play the song and he's like, well, it doesn't do anything at all for me. So it's a good indication that it may be too personal. and
Right.
and and also, the brain, there's so many paradigms. Sometimes every song you write, it's always the best song in the world. Always. It's like oh my God, this is it. This is it. This is my best song. It's the best I've written. It's incredible. And right until it's produced and, mixed and mastered, that's when you take a listen and you can really tell, okay, this is what it is. It's not what I thought it would be. And, brain plays tricks on us.
Well, your wife, when she heard this song, what was her reaction? Like, did
She
she
really
have
loved it. She really loved it, and she didn't say, "Hey, how come you didn't propose like that?"
right?
No. No, she really liked it, and she's like, "So you're gonna record this one?" I'm like, "Yeah, yeah, I'm gonna record this one," and recorded it and did everything. Had, Janae Fleener plays fiddle on it. She's so amazing. She's so much fun to be around and so talented, one of the best, fiddle players in Nashville.
Okay, so you picked the flowers. What you use that for part of the twist of all of this. So, what is that line? Did it come easy in the process, or like when did you know that's when we're going to flip the meeting here? Or
Yeah, because, I guess I'm not I guess I would I don't know if I would, propose directly and ask, "Do you wanna marry me?" And I mean, and that has been said, a gazillion times, and, it's always fun to find a new way to say things, and I thought it was a cool way to address this, where he's not clearly saying, "Do you wanna marry me?" But it's like, "Hey, I'll pick the cake and you pick the flowers. Let's do this. Come on. We've been together so long, in and out of a relationship. We're best buddies. Let's do this." And I just thought it was the right way to do it since they know each other. They've known each other for so long in the story, been going on and off since third grade. So I guess that's the way they would have done it in real life.
oh, well, do you find that there's going to be a lot of guys out there like really thankful that you wrote this so that maybe it's been on their mind and they don't know, like they just can't get the courage to do it.
Yeah, that'd be funny. Or I get comments on social media. Hey, Robbie, that line really doesn't work, or or thank you, it worked, and we're getting married in 6 months or something. That'd be funny to get a feedback on that.
Yes, that definitely would be. So is there a video?
I did. I was on vacation in Greece, and I did shoot just a very simple one camera video, and I just sing through the song and that's it. It's me singing the song, and I just use the real track, put it over, synced everything, and that's what I have for a music video. And I don't have something, where characters and the real music video, not yet. Not so far.
So how would you feel about that, if some of the listeners out there use this song and, did propose and, with that, like, again, are you, like, a really fan of people falling in love and, it
Yeah,
lasting?
that would be great, and or people sending me, videos of them doing their proposal and just put that music in the background.
Yeah, I could see that happening for sure. And it's always great to have a wedding song, right? Because, people
Yeah,
are always getting married, and that will be the case for ever and ever. Amen.
yeah.
And, whatever. So, what is the best part of songwriting for you? Like, is it when the idea, like when you're going through the process, or is it when you hear it on the radio, or eh, what's the best?
I would say the best about songwriting is that anything can happen, and it's magic happens in the studio when you record the song, and it's just you start from a blank page and you can say whatever you want. And for me, the magic is that I kind of don't know where it's coming from. The way I write, I just sit down and wait for the inspiration to come and just go with the flow and let it out. And so it's always surprising. Sometimes I listen to the song or I look at the lyrics. I'm like, oh my God, I can't believe where did I find this? This is cool. This is cool stuff. So I think that's the best part about songwriter for me. That's what it is. It's like a discovery. You're going on a discovery and on a track and you don't know what you're going to find.
And do you feel like the song just finds you?
Yeah, totally. Totally. It feels like, the song already existed. And it's not for every song though. It's some songs you write and you're like, meh, it doesn't feel like it's meant to be. It's a song, it's well crafted and everything, but it doesn't have that feeling, but sometimes it really feels like it's meant to be, and that's when it feels like it didn't come from you, but from somewhere else. Who knows where.
Yeah, I write plays, and it's a similar feelings, like there are those plays that are, like you said, they're crafted the way they're supposed to be, but I don't
Yeah.
have any attachment, I guess, to them in that way. And then there's the others that, like, just really feel like I'm a medium or something, and I'm just like writing down the words, but it's not really coming from me. I'm just
Yeah.
the channel or something. So,
This happened to me on I wrote Christmas song, "Oh Santa Please." And when I started writing it, it came into a dream, and I was so excited about the song, started writing it, and then I'm like, "I'm gonna make it a love story," and I was trying to force it, I guess, to make it, cute and everything, and it really wasn't working until and it's I was so excited that I tracked the song, I have the tracks and everything, the instruments, a basic track, of the instruments and all, and I sing, I listen to it in the car coming out of the studio and I'm all excited, the verse, everything works. And then I get to the chorus and it falls apart. I'm like, oh my God, this is just an okay song. It's not good. It's not working. So I go to bed disappointed and I wake up. I made another dream and I wake up with the new hook of the song and the new chorus, and it's about Santa. And now it all makes sense. I'm like, oh, so now the verses they're tied to the chorus and everything works. Everything falls into place. And it's because I just let it be what it wanted to be. And I feel like I just found it and it was a gift. So it's a weird feeling.
yeah, it is quite magical, in the way that the energy or whatever it might be just comes to you and chooses you, I guess. So you write about in the song, like, it's kind of the day-to-day things that,
Yep.
so why did you choose that over, the grand illusion that we often paint about, this is the ideal love to be this.
Well, I real honest, I don't know. That's how it came out. And like I said, like for the Christmas song, I was trying to make it something, and it wasn't working until I just let it go and just let it be what it wants to be. And that's what came up, and that's what I put on the paper. And I wasn't forcing anything. I wasn't trying to make something. I wasn't, trying to go for a sound or a style, or it just that's what it is and that's what it needs to be, and that's it. Just don't fight it and just go with it.
So if you could go back in time and you did propose this way, what do you think your wife's reaction would have been?
Oh, I mean, she would have been crazy. I mean, she would have loved this.
Yeah.
She still, because she's still like, we should renew our vows. You should really ask me. You should ask me the question, the real, like for real, not like what we did, but do it for real. And she would love it.
Yeah, so you got any plans for that? Because, um,
Not no, no, not anytime soon. I mean, it's a big thing, and I'd have to make time for that and do it the right way, and getting married, preparation, and everything. I think at this point it would be a little complicated to do that.
yeah, well, you might go to sleep and have a dream and it might reveal itself, and
Yep,
who
maybe.
knows? And if it does, I want you to come back on the podcast
Yeah.
and tell us all about it. Um, so did you think of releasing this like, in February when Valentine's Day, or I guess June is the big wedding month. So, timing wise, why August?
I mean, I write the songs, and when I have a good, because I release a new song every 4 to 6 weeks. So, and I keep writing, I keep producing, and when I have a good one that's worthy of releasing, I just finish the production and everything and release it. So it's not. I don't have like a master plan where I'm scheming and saying, okay, I'm going to release this, for Valentine's Day or it just happened like that. It's the same, I released a song, More Than You Think, and it's about my grandparents, and I chose the release date, a Friday, and the Sunday, it was National Grandparents' Day, and I didn't know it. It just fell right into place exactly at the right time
Wow.
and got lots of, media coverage, and people are saying, "Oh, wow, that was great planning." I was like, "No, I didn't plan this. It just happened like this." And how fortunate it is that it fell on the exact right weekend.
Yeah, I mean, that is pretty super amazing. Well, and to the song that you have now, You Pick the Flowers, it gives the people time to listen to the song and get the idea build up by the time Valentine's Day gets here.
Oh,
Or
yeah.
yeah, or
Yeah.
even
All
Christmas,
right.
if they wanna
Exactly.
buy the ring then or something. So,
Yeah.
love is like you can't
Yeah.
really put a date on that because it could happen anytime.
Yeah. And what I like about the song sorry. What I really like about the song is the fact that they're friends. They're really good friends, and I mean, friends always make the best couples in life, and, oftentimes you will rush into a relationship and then rush into marriage, and for reasons that aren't right, and for this song, I think, that's what I like about it, and my parents went through divorce when I was 5. They divorced, I was 5, and it was a bad match, and maybe it comes from there too, where I wish, thinking about it now, I never thought about this, but as we're, talking about it, maybe that's where it comes from too. The fact that I wish my parents would have known each other a longer time before they, started starting a family and getting married and doing all that. Maybe they'd still be married today. So,
So you feel like that people that are friends would make the best marriage couple?
well, Yeah, that's what they say, A lot of people say that, couples that are also best friends, they make the best couples. So, yep.
Well, it works for the song, like,
Yep.
I feel like. And so, of the songs that you've written that are about love, how does this one rank as far as your favorite? Or do I know
Oh,
it's
it's
probably like
tough. Yeah.
children to be like,
Yeah, it's
oh,
all my
you're,
babies.
yeah.
I
So,
mean, in terms of love, I have a song titled Love You Kinda Wine, which I did release for Valentine's.
uh-huh.
Happened to release right around Valentine's. This one was kinda planned. But, yeah, I'm really proud of that one. I mean, they're close, they're really close. I really love this one, it's fresh, it's new, but Love You Kinda Wine is getting a lot of traction also. And also June and July is a really beautiful, love song. It doesn't end really well, but still it's about love. Yeah, I mean, they're all my babies. It's hard to pick and choose.
Yes.
Yeah.
This is really an unfair question because, it's like children. You uh,
Yeah.
can't just pick one. But they are certainly, very different, have different personalities. And so it sounds like your songs as well take on, they each have their own special mm, feeling, I guess, to you once you've completed it and then you get to hear the feedback. And so it's only been out, like not long yet because we're still in August. And you mentioned a little bit about it on social media. So what is the feedback so far? What are people saying?
I mean, the feedback is really good. Really good. A lot of great comments. People are loving it. And even before it was released, just the teasers, people are like, oh my God, this is so good. This is so good. And people were sharing it, with their friends and family. So, yeah, the reactions are great.
What is social media like for you? Are you very active with your and engaged with?
I'm moderately active. I'm pretty engaged. I reply, I comment, I like comments and all that. I do all that. I think it's important. Being an artist, there's a lot of ups and downs, so it's great to go on to social media and fans. They encourage you to keep on going, and that's great for that.
Yeah, I imagine that it's a big part of everyday life now that, people, that's just how people communicate. And do you feel like that is so? We talked about, you have the guy who gives you the honest feedback, and the fans probably they give you the love, I would think, overall. So,
Yes.
is
Yes.
it important to have that too?
Yeah, I mean, it is important to have that, and I mean, we're not doing that. We're not releasing music to, get the love. We just release it and hope people love it and that it becomes the soundtrack to their lives. And, when they say they love it, it it's like a little bonus, saying, "Hey, you did a good job," and it's doing what you want it to do. And yeah, I guess it is really important.
So do you have fans on your social media that, I'm sure you have top fans or, whatever that are there like all the time. But do you have the ones that are brutally honest with you too?
Yes, I do. I have, a few that follow me around and would tell me, you should add this song to your set list and and it's always fun. And sometimes you're like, oh, I don't think so. And then thinking back, you're like, ah, I could yeah, I think that was a good idea. And sometimes you do it. And no, it's great to have super fans. And what's best about super fans is say you start a show and for some reason technical issues everything's going wrong, the sound, but then you have that super fan right in front with a big smile and everything's okay, everything's going to be all right, they bring you into safe zone.
Yes.
Yes.
Wow. So, our time is coming to an end here, but what are the plans for the song? It's just come out. Are you touring? Give us what's your future going on?
Working hard, to get out back on tour because that's the best, creating those moments with the fans. I am working on an album, a full-length album, so I do have some songs that are ready. They're unreleased. And I did a cover of a staple rock song that came out 45 years ago. Had a blast doing it, and that'll be on the album. That's coming out pretty soon.
Oh, wow. That sounds very cool. So I guess we'll just have to wait to find out what that is. But, I hope that you will come back. And when you got the album out, we'd be happy to talk about that. It's always a pleasure to have you. And so, one last thought of what do you hope is the legacy of this song?
I just hope for it, to become the soundtrack, people's lives, and it's a part of their everyday. It's on their playlist. They listen to it, and it brings them back to a moment in time, an emotion in time, and that's what I want for the song. And if it helps me buy a mention, even better. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. As long, and that's why we do the music. It's not for the fame or the statues or whatnot, the awards. It's really, to give back because music has played an important role in my life, and I want to give back and do the same.
Well, it certainly sounds like you are doing that and more. So thank you again for being our guest. And, again, if you get that idea to renew vows and such,
Yep. I'll let you all
come
know.
right back here. I wanna talk.
All righty. Perfect. Thank you so much,
All
Kat.
right. Thank you.
Have a good one.